Educational vlog by Group C. Discuss the power of international organizations. International organizations have three powers, which are the power of classification, fixed meaning, and diffuse norms. Classification is the power to know if the state or nation state is dangerous, developing or not, or is it safe to travel in there. The power of fixed meaning is about anyone can say good things or bad things about their country or another country. For an example would be Philippines is the best country and China is part of the third world country, which is false according to the international organization because they haven't given them that classification. And lastly, diffuse norms are about the laws and norms in every country. An example would be Duterte getting a lot of hate due to extrajudicial killing that is violating human rights according to international organization, but they just can't capture him and put him in prison because of our freedom and sovereignty. Discuss and differentiate comprehensively the organs of the United Nations.
Six principal organs of the United Nations. First, a General Assembly is the main deliberative organ of the United Nations. It is composed of representatives from all member states, each of which has one vote. Second, Security Council is responsible for the maintenance of international peace and security. All member states are obligated to comply with the Council decisions. Third, Economic and Social Council is the place where the world's economic, social, and environmental challenges are discussed and debated, and policy recommendations issued. Fourth, Trusteeship Council, established to provide international supervision for 11 trustee territories and to make sure that adequate steps were taken to prepare the territories for independence. Fifth, International Court of Justice, principal judicial organ, is charged with settling legal disputes between state and giving advisory opinions between UN and specialized agency. Sixth, Secretariat, comprised of civil servants responsible for carrying out day-to-day operations of the organization. They serve as the other principal organs of the UN and manage the programs and policies established by them.
Discuss and differentiate comprehensively state regionalism and non-state regionalism.
State regionalism, it is the coordination of countries and a general phenomenon or may refer to a formal project, policy, or scheme promoted by regional states. And the term actually encompasses a broader area. The parts of state regionalism is NATO, OPEC, NAM, and ASEAN or ASEAN. NATO focuses to its guarantee the freedom, so unity of its members through political and military means. OPEC is a group consisting of 14 of the world's major oil exporting nations.
Non-state regionalism, also known as a new regionalism, is described as a non-government organization and association formed by individuals to pursue certain aims and advocacies. Non-state regionalism is classified into two kinds, which are the legitimizers and the left-wing. The legitimizers are non-governmental groups that collaborate with the government to promote and expand their activism. One example is the Women's Legal and Human Rights Bureau, which focuses on human rights. The other is the left wing, which includes solely citizen-run groups that are not dominated by the government, such as religious organizations.
Discuss individually and comprehensively the following. First is NATO.
Discuss NATO comprehensively. Hello, welcome to 1 Minute Random Facts. For this day, we will talk about the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or called NATO. Did you know that NATO is an example of a state regionalism? It was established on March 4, 1947 during the Cold War, but other people would disagree. They believe that it was established on April 4, 1949. Confusing, isn't it? So what's the truth about this? Well, the truth is the term NATO was only created on April 4, 1949, but the idea of it was already existing during the Cold War. Back then, it was just a treaty, and 2 years later, it became an organization. What's the purpose of NATO anyway? Well, the purpose of it is to protect its people militarily from communist ideology and to ensure their liberty. Another fact is that they resist communist rule. They believe the democratic and monarchical system would be fine.
The second is OPEC.
OPEC stands for Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. The term Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or what you called OPEC, refers to a group of 13 of the world's major oil exporting nations. OPEC was founded in 1960 to coordinate the petroleum policies of each member to provide member states with technical and economical aid. OPEC is a permanent intergovernmental organization created at the Baghdad Conference on September 10 to 14, 1960 by Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. OPEC mission is to coordinate and unify its member countries' petroleum policies and ensure all market stability in order to ensure an efficient, economic, and regular supply of petroleum to consumers, a steady income for products, and a fair return on capital for those investing in the petroleum industry.
Next is NAM.
I will be discussing about the non-allied movement. So first, I am going to mention the founding father of non-allied movement, which are the president of Yugoslavia, Joseph Broz Tito, the president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, and the prime minister of India, which is Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so those. So let's go on to the history of the NAM. So it was created and founded the collapse of the colonial system and independence, where people of Africa, Asia, Latin America were struggling, okay, during the Cold War. So historian consider, later historian considered that the Bandung Asia African Conference is the most, immediate antecedent to the creation of NAM. And it was held, on the year of 1955, where it was gathered by 29 heads of states.
And lastly, ASEAN.
Do you know that the Association of Southeast Asian Nations was established on August 8, 1967 in Bangkok, Thailand, and it has 5 regional members, namely Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand, and was later joined by Brunei Darussalam, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia. ASEAN is headed by a chair, a position that rotates annually among member states and is assisted by a secretariat based in Jakarta, Indonesia. Its main goal is to help Southeast Asian countries develop economically, to promote sustainable development in the region, and to ensure peace and order among members of these countries. These goals are embodied in the 3 community pillars: the political security community, economic community, and social-cultural community.